Hey everyone, this is Alex or PolymomoTea, and today I have a video showing to make these 5 different school supplies out of polymer clay and resin, mostly resin. I hope you enjoy. So first we're going to start with the protractor. So we're going to take some clay and roll it out flat. Then I'm just going to use my blade to cut out some strips. And then I'm going to cut one end and bend it so it's kind of like a rainbow shape. Then we're just going to cut it flat. And then we're going to add another strip on the bottom and cut off the end. And here we have our protractor all baked. Once baked, we're going to make a silicone mold. And then we're going to fill in our mold with some UV resin. I decided to make like a light red pink colored protractor. Let that cure. And then we're going to take some black clay and roll it out into a super thin snake. And once baked, I cut it into tiny little lines. And I'm going to use some UV resin to glaze my protractor. And we're going to use that as the glue for our little clay strips that we baked. And then we added tiny little ticks on the bottom. And gave it some dot eyes. And a line smile. And then we're going to give it another layer of glaze to seal it all together. And here is the final protractor. So simple, yet so cute. Next, we're going to make the loose leaf sheet of paper. So we're going to take some scrap clay and roll it out flat. And we're going to cut out a little rectangle. And then using my dotting tool, I'm just going to make 3 dots on the side. And we're going to bake it and make a little mold. Now for the clay details, we're going to take some light blue clay and we're going to roll out multiple thin snakes. And we're going to do that same thing with the red clay. And we're going to bake it and cut off the snakes so it's aligned with our loose leaf sheet of paper. Then I'm going to add a layer of resin onto our mold. And we're going to start placing our little clay lines. So I started with the blue lines going horizontal and one red line going vertical. Then I sealed it up with more resin and gave it some dot eyes and a line smile. And once fully cured, I took it out of my mold. It did warp a little bit, but it's okay. And then we're gonna make a mixture of white resin and we're gonna use that to color in the back. And the loose leaf sheet of paper turned out so good, I think. I wish it didn't warp though. So next we're gonna make our calculator. So we're gonna take our clay and roll out flat, and I'm going to make a rectangular indent, and I'm going to cut off the outlines so it's more of a rectangular shape. Then once baked, we have our calculator template, and after the template is made, we're going to make our silicone mold. For the calculator, I decided to make a little light blue calculator. So I added some blue pigment to my resin, a little bit of green to make it kind of minty as well. And we're gonna pour that into our mold and let that fully cure. And we have the body of our calculator. Next, I added some silver Pearl X powder into UV resin, and this will be like the little screen of the calculator. Then next we're going to make the calculator buttons. So I'm going to pretend I made all these numbers perfectly on camera, but then I'm actually going to fix them off screen because these numbers are very tiny. So I made the numbers 1 through 9 along with the number 0 and some calculator buttons. So we have plus, minus, times, divided, and equals, and we baked that in the oven. So look how tiny they are. So then I added some UV resin onto my calculator body, and we added the buttons one by one. And I was just glad that I had enough space to put all these buttons in, because I definitely did not measure that out beforehand. But you know, we're happy. And once we arrange all the buttons together, we're gonna just cure that under the UV lamp really quick, just to keep them from moving. Then I added some resin onto the screen part and added our dot eyes and a line smile. And then we're gonna do a final glaze everywhere. And here is our final calculator, and I think it turned out great. For the next craft, we're gonna make a glue bottle. So we're gonna take some clay and we're gonna roll it into a flattened oval shape. And this will be the body of the glue bottle. And we're gonna bake that and make a little mold. So for the glue bottle itself, we're gonna start by adding a layer of clear resin on top. For the glue mixture itself, we're gonna take a mixture of blue pigment along with some glitter, because we're gonna make the glittery clear blue glue that kids used to use when I was really young. I don't know if people still use it now, but this was a thing. And I'm gonna pour that into my mold and cure that. And it looks perfect. It could have been a little bit more blue, but I'm happy with this. So we're gonna make the glue cap. So we're gonna take some white clay and roll it out into a cylinder and cut off a slice so we have a little white disc. Then we're going to take some orange clay and roll it out into a cone shape and cut off the end. Place that onto our white disc. And a little white dot in the middle of our orange cone. Then we're going to make our glue labels. So we're going to take some orange, light blue, and black clay and cut them into thin strips and stack them together. And we're just going to cut out a little house shape. For the label, give it some white dot eyes and a line smile. And we're just gonna place that on top of our glue bottle template, just so it has the perfect shape when we bake it. And then once baked, we're just gonna take it off of our template. Let's not pretend that the label suddenly got better. It was always like that. So the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to glue our label onto our bottle. So I just use super glue for this one. And then we're going to add our little glue tip on the top of our bottle. And we're going to use a layer of UV resin to glaze it nice and shiny. And here is our final glue bottle product, and it looks great. I'm super happy with it. Now for the most tedious but most rewarding one, we're gonna make our gel pens. So we're gonna take some scrap clay and roll it out to the cylinder and cut off the ends so it's nice and flat. We're gonna use a little silicone mold to make our little pen body. Then we're gonna take some colorful pieces of clay and roll it out into a thin snake, thinner than the cylinder that we made for our mold. And I just made a bunch of different colors. So to make the pen cap, we're going to roll it into a cylinder shape, cut off the end, and we're just going to make sure that it's the same width of our body by rolling it together. Then we're going to roll out a thin snake, flatten it out, and place that onto the little cap that we made, and just take it apart. And I made all these different colors, basically the colors of the rainbow along with white, silver, and gold. Now for the bottom lid part, we're just gonna add a little dot of clay and flatten it out so we have all these little discs. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some UV resin into our mold and add in our colorful sticks of clay and cure that together. And we're gonna do that with every single little stock of colorful clay that we have. And then using our blade, we're just going to cut off the ends. And then we're gonna add a little dot of UV resin and cap on our little top along with the bottom. And here we have all of our gel pens assembled and it looks awesome. And then we're just gonna add some dot eyes and a line smile. And we're just gonna glaze all of them together. And here we have all of our gel pens. I made 9 different colors, which is pretty crazy, but these are the gel pens that I usually see. And I decided to kind of stack them into rainbow order and they look so good together. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So those are the 5 different school supplies that I created. I was so happy with how they turned out. I thought they turned out great. I drew out pictures and I basically made them from my pictures, which I never do. I always change it up or give up midway, but I'm glad I finished it. And it was really hard to find different school supplies that I haven't done before. Like I've done so many pencil ones, I decided not to do that this time. But I hope you all really enjoyed this video and let me know in the comment section below which school supply you like the best. For me, I think I'm on team gel pens, but let me know what you all liked. Thank you all for watching and catch you all next time.